All right, so let's dive into the nutrition side of things. So if you guys are doing the containers, that is awesome. If you guys are doing the 2B mindset for your nutrition side, that is awesome as well. This group, I am going to focus kind of more on the 2B mindset, how you plate it. But the containers can go into that. I have been using I've been mixing both of them together on the containers, kind of still measuring out my food, but how I plate it. Because a lot of times people with the containers, you get a little bit confused because you get like 5 veggies, 4 fruit, then 4 proteins. And so you kind of get confused on like, okay, well, should I sit down and eat all of my fruit at once, or kind of when the best time to eat things are. I know that was kind of for me, I was like, I used all my carbs in the morning. I have none left at dinner, but I really wanted, some carbs still at dinner. So I've been kind of combining both of them. And honestly, this has been working the best for me. Everybody's different. If you guys want to plate your food differently, by all means, go for it. Do what works best for you. But this is something that I've been noticing that's been helping me a ton. So let me share my screen. So this is something that I've noticed has been working great. So for breakfast, you have 50% of your proteins and 50% of your fiber-filled carbs. So if you're doing the containers, the fiber-filled carbs are your yellows and purples. Which is your fruit and carbs. And a lot of times, you guys, carbs are not the enemy. If you're using the correct carbs, that is what is actually fueling your body and giving you energy. So that is why you want to start your day with some carbs, the right carbs, because that is what is going to kind of help fuel you for the day and get you ready and get you going. For snacks, 50% veggies, 25% proteins, and 25% fiber-filled carbs. A lot of times, you want I shouldn't say a lot of vegetables. You can overeat on vegetables, but if you're filling your body more with vegetables versus, like some fatty foods, you're actually going to feel fuller longer. So that is why I always recommend, if you need a snack, go ahead and grab some veggies, because that will help you feel fuller longer. I don't know why that's always a tongue twister for me. But a lot of times what I will do for a snack is my shake. So that is a great time to kind of incorporate your Shakeology is for a snack. I've noticed when I use my shake, I've been using it more between that lunch and dinner, kind of when I'm hungry, but I'm not too hungry, but I don't want to wait till dinner because then I'm going to eat like 5 different plates. So that's a great time to start your snack. Sorry. That's a great time to have your Shakeology. Or if you are a person that typically skips breakfast, this is a great time to have your shake is in the morning. Because it will kind of help get you going in the day, and you don't want to skip your breakfast, you guys, because you want to get that energy going and kind of just get your day started off right. So for lunch, you want 50% veggies, 25% proteins, and 25% carbs. That is how you plate your food, because it will help you feel fuller longer. And that will it will also give you that little extra boost of energy throughout the day. And then for dinners, you kind of want to have 75% vegetables and 25% proteins. You can have a carb at dinner if that is what you're used to. I know I grew up and we always had a veggie, a carb, and a protein. That was how I grew up. So that is kind of how I used to cook for the longest time up until about last year, where I always felt like I needed a carb at dinner. Since I have been switching to more veggies and proteins and not necessarily that many carbs, I wake up not feeling bloated and feeling more rested. So just play around with it. Like I said, if you are using the containers, by all means, do your own thing. This is just an option for you on how to kind of plate it, because I know sometimes it gets confusing when we are looking at all these numbers, like I need to get in X amount of veggies and X amount of carbs and X amount of fruit, and then you don't necessarily know when you should eat them. So this is just a rough guide. So, and then for the 2B mindset, this is the meal plan that you follow. You don't have to measure out your food. I recommend if you are actually putting your food on a plate and not in Tupperware, make sure that when you look down at your plate, half of it's veggies and then 25% proteins and then carbs for like lunch. And then when you look at your dinner, is this mostly vegetables and then some proteins, or am I having carbs and a lot of proteins and not that many vegetables? So just kind of look at it. Look at your plate, see what's on there, and then you guys can play around with it too, because it does take a little bit to get used to. So if you still have a carb every now and then at dinner, you guys, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. Same with breakfast. Look at your plate, see how many proteins you have, and see how many fiber-filled carbs are on your plate. So 2B mindset people, this is what you follow. This is your nutrition guide. This is how you do it. The containers, you can definitely use that as a reference guide too. Like I said, I've been measuring, I've still been using the containers because I've been doing it for so long. I've still been doing the containers, but plating my food differently. So it's nice to know when I should eat what foods. Also, I highly, highly, highly recommend buy a cute water bottle, or a water bottle that you will always have in front of you, just because that way you want to drink your water. Always drink your water, you guys, because this is also what's going to help you. Yes, you're probably going to pee a little bit more when you are getting started, but that does kind of go away after, I would say, like a week to 2 weeks. Your body gets used to it. But you want to take your body weight, divide that in 2, and that's how many ounces you should be drinking of water. I know it might seem like a lot, but I'll show you guys. This water bottle, I got it at Target. It's 32 ounces, and I have to drink 3 of these to know that I'm getting in the full amount of water I should have. So it's something that's nice. If you guys want to even make it easier, buy 3 of them, have one in the fridge, or two of them in the fridge. And then once you finish one, you just grab the other one and you just are good to go. But before you also, this is something that I've been learning too. Before you eat your food, drink 16 ounces of water, then you eat, and then like you can drink the rest throughout your meal, or at the end. But you'll notice that you feel fuller longer. It will help you feel full. And if you're kind of like in between, because this is new to you and you're just getting used to like having the containers and how to plate things, drink water. This is where it's going to help you on the feeling fuller, learning your body. This is what I love about it, because you're going to learn how your body is. If you feel like you are just so hungry that you need to have a big plate of something, drink 30 ounces of water, drink your full amount of water, and then if you are still hungry, that means you're probably still hungry. So then go ahead, have a plated meal, or have a container, whatever it is for that snack. So just know, as you're going through this process and as you're learning your body on kind of the cues of like, am I really hungry, or am I bored? I'll dive into that more later, because I do have a really good video on kind of how that works. But that's the nutrition side of things. It's super basic, but I also know it can be overwhelming when you're first starting. So if you guys have questions on it, please let me know, and I'm happy to help you and kind of dive in and do more one-on-one with that. So that's the nutrition. We're off to the before and after photos. And like I said, if you guys have questions, please don't hesitate and let me know.